Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you guys hear me right. I'm in Times Square. This is not Times Square, New York City. It's Hong Kong, Times Square in Causeway Bay. So how are you guys doing? Haven't seen you guys for a long time. You know, actually, things has always been busy in Hong Kong. I don't know why everything is crazy. You never find time for anything here. So just wanted to show you here what's happening. I'm trying my new, trying the gimbal. This is Osmo DJI. Unfortunately, the DJI thing is, I think there's kind of a conflict in North America. So if you guys get a drone or get a DJI product, you can't. It's not on the Google Play Store. So you have to download the app directly from the DJI website. So that's pretty sad. You have to download the Memo app. Yep. So now behind me they're doing the Pixar new movie, I guess. And this place is supposedly one of the busiest places in Hong Kong. Hello Howard. Pick up your mooncakes or they're gonna go rotten. So here's Times Square. Just wanted to show you. And this, anyway, check the description below. Later on, I'll put down my links for the gimbal here, which is good. So let's check out. This is the newer buildings, and the older buildings at the back. So this is, if these shops close, become empty, Hong Kong will be just totally devastated. Which a lot of stores are closed already. So behind me, let's check out. There's a Lane Crawford here, right, in the Gucci store. But yeah, let me turn the camera around. So this is Uniqlo Lee Theater at the back. So it used to be a big theater, but now they changed it into a big, like, complex shopping center, which is pretty interesting. They have the Muji and the Uniqlo, and yeah, that's basically it. And before here, there used to be a clock here, but somehow the clock disappeared. So this place is supposing to be a very busy place. These watches, Patek Philippe, it's gone crazy. You know why? Because everybody is in the COVID mode and nobody wants to go out, and they're just collecting watches. And these watches have been tripled in prices, which is crazy. And these are all the Omega, Patek Philippe, Rolex, Cowbutcher, and the trams are just down the road, and it's pretty busy there. And this is a taxi stand, all the taxi stands here. Okay, and check out the Pixar Aliens, the new movie. They are promoting it now. So guys, give me a like if you guys can. Appreciate that. So this is Stitch. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the restaurants. So I think it's same as in North America. All these restaurants now are not really full, except the really good, tasting, the top restaurants. But usually all these restaurants are pretty empty. The reason why is you need to do this QR code. So everybody has got this app. So when you go to a restaurant, you got to use this app and scan it. So if anybody got, have COVID or anything, you'll get notified by the health department because they have a record that you walk in that restaurant, right? So you have to quarantine and do these government testing, which is a really sucky deal, right? So here is you see this red sign here? It says the big food forum. So all these are restaurants. It's not a food court. They're all, restaurants here. And during dinner time, usually, all these restaurants, you gotta line up just to get on the elevator. But nowadays, it's pretty bad. So they're just having offers like Pizza Express, 15% for all la carte takeaway orders, because they're doing this. Like in the States now, you buy takeaway, you expect to give a tip, like a 15% tip for takeaways. But so far, Hong Kong it's not been a trend to give tips. So are some of the foods when you come to Times Square, Causeway Bay, you can eat. So in Hong Kong, the Lux food here, this Lee Garden restaurant is pretty awesome. So they serve the abalone here. So abalone is a big deal here. And believe it or not, they have steak. And some other restaurants, seafood, and all these different foods, which is sushi. And actually, Pizza Express is from the UK, and I pretty much like it. It's pretty good. The sad thing is, nobody is shopping because the housing market, it's been tanking. So the real estate has probably dropped 20%, and the bad thing is the old buildings, the apartments are more expensive than the new apartments that they're launching. So how can if you can buy a new apartment for the price of an old one, obviously you'll get the new apartment. And the thing is, if you guys are under 30 years old or something, and they offer 80%, you can borrow up to 80% of the payment, which is pretty good. 80% loan, so they don't just only take out 20% deposit. So these will help young guys have a family and a place to live. So this is the back street of Times Square, but now it's not really busy. Before it's crazy here. There's so much traffic, so many people, but sadly there's not much. So now you see these big screens have been pretty popular in Hong Kong. And here, let's go up. Look at that. It's pretty amazing. The whole sidewall is, the building is like that. So all these big LED, big screens. Pretty empty street. And that's a Lee Garden over there. So I'm just basically walking around here. And if you guys want to come here, if you ever have a chance, this stupid quarantine still in Hong Kong, strictest COVID policies, in the world, Hong Kong. They're still having a three-day mandatory quarantine, which people are not coming to Hong Kong, obviously. And government, that's what I think. Hong Kong government needs to comply to the mainland Chinese government. So I don't think they're brave enough, or they can't make any decisions to open up or anything without consent of the Beijing government. And just now there's a big earthquake in Sichuan again, and which is pretty bad. And what happened in Sichuan is that they are under lockdown, right? So when the earthquake came, all these buildings are fenced off, and the security won't let anybody leave the building, which is sad, right? So a lot of people got trapped in a building because simply they were just fenced in the building. Even an earthquake that they can't even get out. So what is going on? Which is, people talk about this thing, why do they do that? Why is it happening? Which is really bad. So this is a typical Hong Kong taxi. But, I think in Toronto, Canada, is that the capital of Canada, guys? They have one exactly same make, model, and same painted taxi in the streets of Toronto, which is pretty cool. And I think in Los Angeles, one guy got one of these taxis going, Hong Kong style taxis, which is very interesting. So this is a Hong Kong style taxi. It's a Crown, Toyota Crown. And now in Hong Kong, these taxi runs on LPG. And this is not the latest model. Actually, this model has been up for 20 years. So the new one runs on same LPG, but it's a hybrid. So let's check out the trams here. This street here. I hope you guys are enjoying this video. If you are, you're probably watching the rerun of this. But yeah, do give me a like, subscribe to my channel. You can. Hey, Crazy Craftsman, my Patreon, how are you doing? Yeah, you guys should visit Hong Kong, man. but it's lockdown, which is discouraging people coming to Hong Kong. And I think Singapore is really thanking Hong Kong, because since Hong Kong is in a big lockdown, everybody is going to Singapore. So they even offering, young kids that graduate from Hong Kong to work in Singapore. So actually in Hong Kong, I think 1.8%, almost 2% of the population has left Hong Kong because of the stupid COVID thing. And of course the protesting. So Crazy Crossman, I'm glad you're enjoying Philippines. I hope I can come to Philippines and visit you guys. Maybe you can meet me up in Manila, take a trip down to Manila. But I'm not looking for it, I hope they'll just quit this quarantine. And the rumor says in November they might quit quarantine. They won't have that. So they'll just have you on a watch list, or you have to do a daily COVID test or something like that. But I think it's political. You can't get more political than this. In mainland China, you're doing the health code thing like Hong Kong, but in China it's even more stricter, right? So in Hong Kong, like in mainland China, lots of banks. Look at this narrow road. Everybody it's a shortcut to a smaller street. It's got a Lantern Street. So there's a lot of, hey, let's go to Lantern Street, guys. Check out Lantern Street. And this little narrow street is full of restaurants, and you eat like Japanese ramen, which is pretty enjoyable. Here, hi guys, how are you doing? I haven't done one of these live videos before, but I hope you are enjoying this. And drop a like, and I appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. So this is approaching Lantern Street, and lots of trendy restaurants here. And I think they had a Jamie Oliver Street on Lantern Street, but I think he went broke. A lot of people don't like Jamie Oliver's food because it's too healthy, guys. So let's walk on Lantern Street. I think billions of dollars the government has been giving out tickets, but people still park illegally. So I guess that's a trend. Here, this little restaurant here, interesting. See, if really, this is from Bangkok. It's called After You, and it's pretty much a full house, right? So these guys have to queue up and do the QR code. So I was talking about the health code. These banks have been loaning money to government officials, and money's just been siphoned out of China. So now the banks are having problems getting back their loans, and a lot of homeowners are defaulting. The market has crashed. The housing market in China has crashed. Our SAR government, like 3-4 years ago, told every Hong Konger, you invest in the Belt and Road, go to the Guangzhou, the Greater Bay Area to invest in property, and all these property has gone broke, unfinished buildings and everything like that. So a lot of citizens that really love the CCP are asking the new John Lee, what happened to their Greater Bay Area investments. And he told them, you should just look for Carrie Lam, because he's the new government, he doesn't know anything about it. Isn't that funny? So here are these are the restaurants here. This is Lantern Street. A lot of these Mercedes vans here are pretty popular. So these are diesel vans. And in Hong Kong, if you buy a diesel van, it's a lower tax bracket, because in Hong Kong it's like 150% tax. So you guys like roast duck? So this is a roast duck. Actually, Hong Kong food is really, really tasty and yummy. But for me, I'm on a strict diet. I can't eat too much. So this place, roast goose, and people really like eating goose heads. Don't you say these goose heads hang pretty good? There, let's keep on going. Check out all these foods here. Here's a set dinner. So if you want to, this is just like less than $10, it's like $8 for a set dinner. And they have takeaway specials because a lot of people, you see those green signs inside, you have to use your app, QR code. So if anybody have COVID inside, you're gonna go for these mandatory government testing like for a week or something like that. And it's gonna be hell. Say Japanese ramen is pretty popular. So this street has Japanese ramen, and now the prices have really gone down. So this is like happy hour, 12 to 6 o'clock, 6 to 8. It's pretty much unheard of. Usually these would sell over $100 Hong Kong, so it's like $15. And this restaurant here is Steak Bar, steak lovers. So this is, I think they give you, fried foods here for $94 discount. So that's around $13. And here, everything, service charge, everything is included. So you just pay the money and just walk off, no tax or anything. See, that's one of the good things in Hong Kong. So here's part of the menu. And I think the steak is pretty raw, wouldn't you think? I would like mine medium rare to medium, but that looks raw meat. Don't you think? See the QR code thing? You have to force you to use that QR code. So everybody walks in, you gotta scan this before the waitress lets you go in. You hear that? You have to check your temperature and then do the QR code. Or it's a $5,000 fine, so an $800 fine if they catch you not scanning the thing. So that a lot of people doesn't like their privacy, so if they scan, they'll be, up for it if somebody has COVID in there. But for me, I think COVID is not a big deal because the Omicron now is just like a flu. So this is a Thai style, guys. Some of my subscribers are from Thailand, and these are all the Thai foods, but the price compared to Thailand, it's gonna be like double price. Thailand is really, really cheap eating Thai food, but in Hong Kong, rent, everything is more expensive than New York City. And you have a little Thai convenience store here in the middle of an alley. Basically, this is an alley. So look at how cramped the spaces are. And the Thai people are happy. Actually, there's some Thai domestic helpers in Hong Kong, but not many at all. And on my last videos on how they abuse the domestic helpers, go check that video out. There's 360,000 Indonesian and Filipino mates. So this is a ramen place too. See, 15% off ramen. There's not much people are eating out nowadays because of the stupid QR code thing. So this is what you have here. Used to have a lot of ramen stores, but I think some closed down. And here's another Japanese store. I think this one is pretty famous. Check it out, guys. I hope you're enjoying my little restaurant tour. And this is mainland Chinese food. It's noodles too, but spicy chili. Okay. And this is the code here you have to do. The business is not good. They come in, welcome, come in, try something. So these are the dumplings, Beijing style. So they still have the English and Chinese, which is good. And you probably noticed there's absolutely zero tourists. Who wants to come here when you need to pay for quarantine, go through all these COVID tests and all that, right? It's totally not necessary. So let's check out this ramen place. I've been here once before, which is pretty good ramen. Let's check out the menu, what's available. So these are a set for two, so that's $200 and up for, I guess you can choose for two people. So these are the ramen available. And all the promotion. So this is how you order, how you do your ramen. And the menu is outside. This place used to be really expensive, but I think the prices has gone up. And now there's a lot of Pakistani that are doing the delivery. So they just ride on these little scooters and they make a living doing the Deliveroo and Uber Eats. I think Uber Eats closed down the Hong Kong market because they weren't competitive enough. So these guys are hardworking, you know, because it's like sometimes around 98 degrees under the sun, so hot, and they can stand up to the heat. Even local guys can't take the heat because it's so hot in Hong Kong. So all those buildings just now you saw are pretty old. Here, these are the really old buildings, right? So halfway down this Lantern Street is the newer buildings. So these are the trendy buildings. And believe it or not, half of this road here, you can see it's nicely done, is a private road. So cars coming to this building, they can park here. But this is a public road. Isn't it weird? Like half of a road is public and half is government. This is a Chinese cafe. So you guys learned about Cha Chan Tang. This is Cha Chan Tang. So this is pretty yummy. So it's pretty unhealthy, but lots of scallion, fried egg, ham, luncheon meat, and rice. And the sweet sauce comes with milk tea. So usually in Hong Kong, if you order an iced drink, they'll add $3. Special drink $9. So it's usually like that. So this Cha Chan Tang you can eat Swiss sauce. So it's nothing to do with Switzerland, but they make like a special blend of soy sauce, sweet soy sauce, and they call it Swiss sauce. And so they marinate it on the chicken, so it's a darker chicken. And this is the Swiss sauce chicken dinner. And ramen, Chinese style ramen. So this is again, I think it looks like ramen, spicy ramen with a croissant. And a fried ramen. And this is satay beef ramen. So satay beef usually is a really popular thing people Hong Kongers order. So this is baked rice. Usually when you talk baked rice, usually it's chicken steak baked rice, and they put some sweet sauce, garlic or black pepper. And tea time, Hong Kong still follows the British tradition. Tea time is pretty important, so everybody comes down from the office having tea. So 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock, they offer tea time at a discount price. So the prices here, you guys can check it out. Usually it's cheaper. So people usually come for tea time. Okay, so this is a newer building here, modern building. Let's check it out. The skyline. Ooh, pretty tall. My gimbal has power to still hold this heavy phone. So check out the description on my gimbal that I'm using. Later on I'll put it on. So used to be a Gordon Ramsay restaurant upstairs. but I think they closed down already, which is sad. Oh, the Wagyu beef. So this set is about $80 and you get some Wagyu beef, 360 grams. So usually they go by 100 grams. So this is for two, 488 Hong Kong. Sukiyaki. Look at the marble. This place is a Japanese hot pot restaurant, I guess. Pretty empty, guys. You want to scan your COVID code and get in trouble? See? This is usually the scene. Pretty sad, right? So that's the menu here. See, if you scan this COVID code, mandatory code to dine in, and if somebody has COVID in there, you'll be notified because you scanned it, you were there, and you have to probably go for a quarantine at the Penny Bay Government Center, and then go through a lot of crap doing your quarantine stuff, you know, for Omicron, for the Omicron virus, you know. So this is usually, you know, the restaurant here. Hello. Hey. Hey, sabu sabu. Guys, thank you. Oh, sukiyaki. Okay. Hey, Wagyu, Japanese Wagyu. Okay, Japanese Wagyu. Oh, they have American. Okay. Nice, thank you. Yeah, this gentleman came and helped me out. So they have American beef too and everything. Oh, they have a steak too. So all types. This steak, I think, is that's a Japanese steak here, and there's like almost $100 US for Japanese steak. But usually I'm getting old. I can't eat Japanese steaks because it's just all oil. You know, it's just all white, and the marble is just over, so it's just too much. This like the mini bar is pretty busy. So here are some restaurants inside. Jamie Oliver, the steakhouse. Oh, Jamie Oliver has closed down already. So this is a hairdresser place. So this is called Lantern Street, guys. What do you think? Hey, how are you doing, guys? So I hope this video has been interesting, showing you the Times Square and Lantern Street. All these trendy restaurants here in Lantern Street. Pretty interesting. Oh, so this is mainland Chinese food. You see the guy? He saw me put on the mask, because even you have a cigarette, catch you with the mask down, they give you a $5,000 ticket. So he's having a cigarette, okay? And he saw me taking a video, and you see a cigarette with a mask on. So how the hell can you smoke a cigarette? But the health department catches people here smoking with the mask down, and they give you a fine. So that's so much bullshit going on. You see, perfect example. Mask on with a cigarette in the hand. So these are the spicy fish. So he'd rather walk away from me. There's a cigarette, so it's pretty funny, isn't it? A cigarette in his hand and the mask is on. You see? And they can catch him another 5,000 for littering. So this is Hong Kong nowadays. So people say Hong Kong is a police state. I have no comment on that. But when you see a guy trying to have a cigarette and saw me filming, he puts on his mask right away with a cigarette still lighted. So that's a pretty interesting thing, right? Oh, so this is a place, I think it's an oyster place. So they sell Japanese food here. Sushi. So you guys like Japanese sushi, but you gotta scan before you come in. See, no business inside because you got to scan the QR code. See, every restaurant has the QR code. See, this is the scene in Hong Kong. So no wonder the economy is pretty much dead. Everything is dead. No tourists at all. Here, some posters on the wall. And here's another restaurant. You want to scan and go in? Well, so you want to scan and go in? Okay, so if anybody has COVID inside, you're in trouble. So there's the sign there. But if you take away, you don't have to scan it. So you see this young lady, she's taking a look at the menu to say I'm taking away so she doesn't need to scan. So what do you think of my prison live streaming software? No street food? Yeah, there's no street food in Causeway Bay. It's just too much prime property around, so they don't have a street food here. Everything must be like in the store and everything like that. So this is the street. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoy my live stream. Let me know, do you like this type of stream? But it's pretty interesting. And luckily there's kind of a cloudy day. It's not too hot, so it's around 88 degrees. You know, still up close to 30 degrees at nighttime, which is pretty nasty. So thank you guys for watching. Give me a like, subscribe, and thank you very much for my Patreons. And check out my Patreon page. And yeah, support my work if you want to. And I appreciate that too. I'll give you guys a shout out. Crazy Crossman, thank you very much. Salamat from the hi to Philippines to your friends. And I'll see you guys again. Goodbye.